Hey everyone, in today's video, I'll be explaining exactly how triggers work in FiveM. Let's start with resources. When you join a FiveM server, it runs various resources. These resources are essentially add-ons or custom content for the game, like maps, jobs, robberies, or weapons. Basically, any custom feature on a server is implemented through a resource. When you browse the server list and select a server, you'll notice a list of resources on the right side. For example, there is a resource named redENGINE ATM Robbery. Once you join that server, you now know it includes an ATM robbery script. With this information, you can dump the server files to take a closer look at that resource and see what it actually does. Keep in mind you'll only be able to access the client-side scripts. Server-side scripts cannot be dumped by any dumper. The only exception is a backdoor to the server. Now, let's take a look at the ATM robbery resource which we dumped. Typically, developers organize client-side scripts in a folder named Client within the resources directory. That's where the source code is stored. These client scripts usually contain trigger events. There is two ways of finding a trigger: looking through the client-side code and trying to understand how the script works, or analyze triggers in real time using the event logger. Let's take a look at this client script. When we start hacking the ATM, it checks if there is enough police in the server. If there is enough, it will put your character into animation and starts a hacking mini-game on your screen. Otherwise, if there is not enough police in the server, it will just display an error message. But that was just when we start hacking the ATM. When we successfully hack the ATM, it will cancel the hacking animation our character is doing. After that, it hides the hacking minigame and puts a progress bar on our screen which displays looting ATM machine. After the progress bar, it will put a success notification on our screen. And now it triggers another event named Success. So this is what the Success event does. First, it listens for the Success event from the server. If no ATM is currently selected or active, it won't give you a reward. All the reward trigger needs is the ATM index, which is basically a number assigned to each ATM to identify it. Now we know exactly how the ATM resource works. Let's actually try hacking the ATM and see it with Event Logger. First, let's turn Event Logger on before we start the hacking process. Now let's do the hacking. Once we successfully hack the ATM, we have to wait the progress bar and then we get the reward. Now that we got the reward, we can see what the Event Logger has picked up. There is some of our failed attempts, but the last one is the reward. We can see that this is the reward trigger. There is also a unique key, which is the coordinates of the ATM. But when we looked at the client source code, we saw that it only takes the entity ID, which in this case is 81,154. We can assume that this resource checks the distance between the character and the ATM. This is a common tactic to get modders banned. So if we are, for example, 5 meters away from the ATM, we might get banned or flagged. This is why it's important to use Event Logger when you have a chance in order to analyze the trigger even more. If you struggle finding triggers, our private Discord server has an active community where members regularly share triggers with each other in our dedicated trigger channel. I hope you learned something new from this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what kind of content you'd like to see next.